Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now that's very embarrassing. I gotta say this. The Russians got hit again 450 kilometers inside Russian territory. In the same spot they were hit, a few weeks ago? The military airfields, about 120 miles from Moscow. Unbelievable. Let's see what's going on here. Oh man, this article comes from Reuters and it's from today, December 25th, 2022. Blasts reported at Engels air base deep inside Russia. So, December 26th, because that's what's the date over there. Blasts were heard at Russia's Engels air base. So this occurred a few minutes ago, I don't know, not minutes, but about 2 or 3 hours ago. So blasts were heard at Russia's Engels air base, hundreds of kilometers, miles from the front lines in Ukraine. Ukrainian and Russian media outlets reported early on Monday. There was no immediate official confirmation of the blasts, and Reuters was not able to independently verify the reports. The RBC Ukraine news agency reported that 2 explosions took place. The Russian news outlet Baza reported citing local residents that air raid sirens were wailing and an explosion was heard. The airbase near the city of Saratov, about 730 kilometers. That's 450 miles. My bad. I thought this was really 450 kilometers. Southeast of Moscow was hit on December 5 in what Russia said was Ukraine drone attack on 2 Russian air bases that day. The twin strikes dealt Moscow a major reputational blow and raised questions about why its defense failed, analysts said, as attention turned to the use of drones in the war between neighbors. Ukraine has never publicly claimed responsibility for attacks inside Russia, but has said, however, that such incidents are karma for Russia's invasion. Well, I don't know if it's karma or if it's not karma, but again, these guys hit inside Russia. Wow, now that's something. I thought that once you get hit one time, you're less likely to succeed. That's one of the rules when you fight. When you do something and you do it once, just do it one time, because you think that the opponent might obviously learn your trick, or at least get prepared for next attack, which seems like we have it right here. I don't know. I do not know why the Ukrainians or whoever these guys are blowing these things up. I don't know why they hit these bases, military bases, and I mean, in one way I know why, but let's get some scenarios here. So this is a military base, which obviously, if the Russians will again conclude that it was the Ukrainians always can justify it by saying yes, but you see, that's the military base. You guys, on the other hand, hit our, cities, civilians, all that. So you see, we're nice. But if that's the first scenario. The other one would be, what if the Ukrainians would start hitting Moscow? Which I don't know if it happened already or not. There were some fires, some suspicious fires in Moscow lately, and not only. Now, what if they would hit somewhere, I don't know, close to Kremlin? Then let's say, even if the whatever attack would be, let's say the incoming missile would be blown, I mean, in the air, all right? So it wouldn't do any damage. The simple attack and the simple fact that the Ukrainians would target the civilians, or at least Moscow, I think that would get a different response from the Russians than the one that probably get from hitting a military target. I think that this Engels military base, or Engels military airfield, I think it is where the Russians are keeping some of their nuclear strategic bombers, and that's very dangerous, because I don't know if they have, on the basis any nuclear weapons or not. I'm assuming not, but assumption is one thing and evidence is a different thing. The Ukrainians' ability to hit this deep inside the Russian territory, it's concerning for the Russians, I guess. I mean, just think about it. You hit, what, 450 miles inside, according to these guys, inside their territory. I mean, those missiles or whatever they were, if it was the same kind the Ukrainians used last time, then it was the jet-propelled, so-called, how they call them, drones or something. But they're like some rockets, long rockets. I don't know how they're. I mean, I know. I'm pretty sure that they were coordinated by exact coordinates given by the satellites, and I don't think those satellites were how do you call it, civilian satellites. Supposedly these rockets, I'm just talking about the last time. I don't know if they were hit with the same ones. I'm assuming they will hit with the same ones, because it seems like they were, not it seems, they were successful the first time. So say, okay, what the hell? What do we have to lose? Nothing. And it seems like the Russians did not have an answer for those missiles that were built in the 70s and 80s. I think it was something built obviously by the Soviet Union, upgraded in the 90s, and maybe right now in 2006, I think was the last time they upgraded those, and probably in the past year or something. And those were not coordinated by the Ukrainians. I tend to fantasize about that, but I don't think the Ukrainians did the whole thing. I don't know, but I don't remember Ukrainians having any satellites over there that can act, military satellites. So if they did it, I don't think they did it with commercial satellites, and they did not, I think, coordinate it just by themselves. I'm not saying they're idiots or something. I'm just saying that all the information that we have so far, the Ukrainian army is very much taken from here and put over there. You shoot over there, from A to Z. They probably just, they certainly execute whatever was already calculated and was organized and determined by other guys. And probably the same thing with this. I don't think this was a US made anything, because the sponsors will not risk to have it shut down and then the breeze showed around and say, okay, this is a very long range missile that is whatever chupu chupu chapa chapa name, and you guys provided it, and that's this and that. Even though if that would be the case, I always ask, then what? What are you gonna do about it? If you're not gonna do something about it, all right, talk. Try to change the people's opinion, and you can't break these guys' propaganda here, as the same these guys can't break the propaganda over there. So you're gonna have your little echo chamber over there. These guys are gonna have their echo chamber over here, and sometimes they overlap a little bit, but that's it. And obviously you have some weasels in between that are, I'm assuming like I don't want to call them Al Jazeera being weasels, but I think Al Jazeera now is owned by somebody else, and I think they're kind of like mainstream Western media. I'm not certain about it, but I think that's what I read a while ago. A while ago being about 7 or 8 months ago, but I don't know if that was correct or not. Maybe my memory plays games right now. But anyway, the fact is, again, explosions over there. We'll find out tomorrow what kind of craters we find, not craters, craters we find over there, and if any, what was it, white swan, and the other one I can't remember how it's called. airplanes, bombers, strategic bombers were damaged or not. Not good. Russia, not good. That tells me about what? S-400 and so on. I understand that you can't have them all everywhere, and supposedly last time these kind of drones, that's how they call them, drones, and I'm going to use the same term, flew at low altitude. However you want to take it, success, not success. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What do you think would happen? Another massive attack? That's about it, what the Russians can do at this point. I don't know what else can do instead of just bombard the shit out of whatever they find in what's not bombarded already in Ukraine, and get it on with that massive offensive that are getting ready right now. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.